Hello, my friends, from our lesson Defragmentation. Welcome everyone to another study. And today's topic, Lessons in Evangelism. Sunday, March 22nd. The missionary model of Paul, and the text begins by highlighting that the ministry of the Apostle Paul offers important lessons on evangelism. Some impressive facts about their mission. Shall we take a look at this data? His missionary journeys totaled approximately 21,500 kilometers. A large part of these journeys was made on foot. On several occasions, Paul was also imprisoned because of the gospel. This shows that his mission involves sacrifice, perseverance, and total dedication to God's work. Take a look at Paul's missionary strategies. Paul adopted a clear strategy to spread the gospel, focusing on strategic centers. He worked mainly in important commercial centers such as Corinth and Ephesus. These cities were strategic points in the Roman Empire. From there, the Christian message could quickly reach other regions inland. And look at the strengthening of the churches. In addition to evangelizing, Paul was concerned with pastoral care. He would return to the churches he had founded, strengthen the new converts spiritually, and encourage Christians in their faith. When he couldn't visit them in person, he would send letters and messengers. And these letters showed pastoral care, constant remembrance of the churches, and concern for the spiritual growth of the believers. Notice the personal and pastoral communication. And the text explains to us that some information is better conveyed orally than in writing. That's why Paul sent trustworthy messengers who would deliver his letters, personal news, and additional explanations. These messengers also had the mission to encourage and strengthen the Christians. Tychicus, a faithful collaborator. One of the messengers sent by Paul was Tychicus. And the highlighted characteristics, his name means fortunate. He was considered a trustworthy emissary. Paul describes him as a faithful minister and fellow servant in the Lord. This is found in Colossians chapter 4, verse 7. He was chosen to bring news about Paul, strengthen the Christians, and communicate details that were not in the letter. The important role of Tychicus. Tychicus also accompanied Paul on his mission. He took part in delivering offerings to the needy Christians in Jerusalem. He was with Paul during his imprisonment in Rome. Later, Paul sent him to Ephesus to strengthen the missionary work. We also have Onesimus, a special convert. Another man sent with Tychicus was Onesimus. Paul describes him as a faithful and beloved brother. This is in Colossians chapter 4, verse 9. Onesimus had been evangelized by Paul while he was in prison. He was probably known to the Colossians, which made his presence significant for the church. The purpose of the mission of Tychicus and Onesimus. Paul sent these two men to Colossae with several purposes: to deliver the letter to the Colossians, to convey Paul's personal news, to inform them about his situation, that he was there in prison, to spiritually strengthen the church, and to encourage the Christians to continue the mission. Thus, they acted as Paul's personal representatives. The human dimension of Paul's ministry, and the text highlights that the personal matters in Paul's letters reveal his humanity. These personal references show that he had deep relationships with the Christians, genuinely cared about the churches, and maintained spiritual and emotional bonds with the brothers. This also confirmed the authenticity and commitment of his ministry. And this section here teaches us several practical lessons about evangelism. The first of these is mission requires planning. Paul chose strategic places to evangelize. The second, mission is teamwork, and he relied on faithful collaborators. The third point, evangelism involves pastoral care. It's not enough to convert people, it's necessary to disciple and strengthen believers. And the fourth, relationships are part of the mission. Christian ministry also involves friendship, care, and spiritual support. And with that, we conclude today's study. Paul's missionary experience shows us that effective evangelism combines strategy, cooperation, discipleship, and pastoral care. Through collaborators like Tychicus and Onesimus, Paul was able to strengthen churches, maintain the unity of believers, and expand the gospel even while he was imprisoned. Reflect on these words today and have a blessed day in the presence of our Lord Jesus Christ. And I'll see you tomorrow in our next study with the theme Connections in the Church.